Hello, all, and welcome back to a new episode of TV and Us, a conversation show about the TV series we just can't stop talking about. My name is Jennifer Hahn.
And I'm Sarah Callan.
And each season, we focus on a different show, reviewing it episode by episode, and we invite you to watch along with us. Right now, we are reviewing The Bear Season 5, its last season, and today we're on episode 5, titled Raspberries. If you haven't watched this episode yet, this is your spoiler alert. Go watch the episode, come back, listen to the rest of our conversation. So my favorite activity is the summaries, the episode summaries from The Bear. So Sarah, what is it for episode 5?
Would you like to venture a guess? It is a 3-word summary.
3 words. Honestly, this is not going to be it, but all I can think about is Marcus crashes out.
Honestly, though, that would be a good one. This is much more vague, and it is,
of course,
a traffic jam.
Oh, interesting. Interesting framing, actually. That works on many levels, but not what I would have expected, actually.
Marcus crashes out is apt, though. That is exactly what happens in this episode.
We have to talk about it. Okay, episode title of your choice of episode title. What is it?
My title is Vibe Low.
Ooh, yeah, vibe is low for sure. Yeah, that's a great one. My episode title is Paths to Success.
Gosh, Richie. Just out of control.
It's so good.
It is so good.
Okay, let's dive in. What are your thoughts on season 5, episode 5 of The Bear? There's lots of like things that I think like we probably make the most progress forward, plot line and character arc wise in this episode. So tell me your thoughts about this 5th episode of The Bear.
So something that I've been wondering about once we knew that this season was going to be like over the course of a day or like over the course of one prep dinner service and fallout from dinner service, how were they going to make 8 episodes out of that? Yeah. And especially, you know, as we've been like creeping forward and episode 4, they're all like gearing up, let's go Bears. I was like, what is episode 5 going to be? And I thought it was so brilliant that they're just waiting for an entire episode and helping us as the audience understand kind of the domino effect of everything. So once again, another impossible thing for our crew to have to try and overcome in what is going to be probably the most chaotic dinner service we've ever seen in our lives. But understanding that if one table is 5 minutes late, then that affects all of the other tables for the rest of the service. And that fear of, is everybody going to show up? Which is interesting because for the previous 4 episodes, it's been, we have too many people showing up and the issues with that and not having enough food and not having enough servers. And they finally found a way to maybe solve for that problem. And now we have a brand new problem that they didn't account for. So I thought as a place within the season, it makes so much sense that this episode is just waiting. And we see how detrimental that waiting might be as we enter into the final 3 episodes.
Also is very true to life in that you have this moment of energy and momentum to execute on a dream or a vision that you have. And sometimes the answer for the moment in time is just hold, just wait. That like pent up motivation almost doesn't have anywhere to go. And I think that's a dynamic that's really hard. And in most movies or shows or storylines that we see, you get the big speech from the coach, and then the players go out on the field, and then they deliver on that win, and then it's the end, and it's fabulous. But this is almost like the coach delivers a speech, and then we just have to like do a 5-hour drive to get to the field. And by that point, like what is our headspace. And so I think that's a fascinating aspect of this, especially the ending of episode 4 going into 5. um there's a lot of like interesting character dynamics that I think happen in this episode. Some I think are interesting. Some I don't love as much. Some I don't think are set up fully in the way that I would want to see it. I don't know. There's a little bit of this episode that feels slightly overwritten to me. Um, but I'm curious your thoughts about some of those things. One of the big ones I think is Marcus. I really appreciate the way that the show has put him in the center of this season. And clearly there is mounting pressure, and clearly there's a huge burden he's placed on himself. But I think, and maybe this is like intentionally designed from the show, which I think it is, but he's so similar to Carmi in how he operates in this episode that I there's a little bit more setup that I think I needed for that, for me to fully buy that Marcus would react that way. And there's obviously a huge circumstance that we don't even know the full details of, but I emotionally maybe not wasn't fully there and ready for um, the way he snaps so harshly at Luca, which looks so much like Carmi, which just feels very convenient. So that made me like kind of just tilt my head to the side a little bit. And perhaps in hindsight, I will change my position on it. But it didn't totally work for me. But I like that we're seeing more complexity from this character. I loved that part. Not sure that's how it would happen, or maybe I'm not emotionally ready for that from the show.
No, I felt the same way. I I definitely bought when he was telling Luca to like hurry up in the prep, and his reasoning was you're going to get pulled to help with dinner and I'm going to be alone with desserts. Like that I buy, but I think
Mm-hmm.
some of the other things I was like I'm not sure that this is how Marcus would respond in this
Yeah.
situation. Um, so, like you, I that gave me a little bit of pause, and I'm curious
Mm-hmm.
to see where he is going to go over the remaining episodes because we know that he's stressed. That's been set up. Not
Yeah.
he's stressed because of the situation, having to change the menu, all of these things, and his dad is supposed to come. Like there's so much pressure on him. It
Yeah.
makes sense that he would break, especially because he's been so steady for so long. I don't know that I believe that the character would break in that way. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to withhold judgment because maybe it'll maybe it'll make sense as we go along. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of the choices that I didn't super love how it was done. I like that he is having a moment.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
crashing out, but I think
Yes.
A Marcus crash out would look different than what we got in this episode.
Yeah. And then I zoomed out and went down this whole rabbit hole of thought around how difficult it is to write a character. Like it is very challenging. And that's why we celebrate when it's done so well, as the bear has done so beautifully. But it's because as I was thinking about this moment, it was like it is the right choice for this character. It adds so much nuance and complexity. The circumstances are set up for his father and everything that happened with his mother. This is the right scenario that would press our character. But it's just a timing problem for me. And perhaps it came the right moment too early. Maybe in this episode, we needed to see him pushing and rushing Luca. And then episode 6 needs to be the time where we see him snap, but we can feel that there's been mounting pressure, that he's holding in, but he can't help it a little bit more. But knowing Marcus, he would hold it in, he would shut down and try and like absorb it himself, but then he can't. And then maybe it comes out in a different way. But it's almost just perhaps not set up fully yet. It's like maybe the writers knew this has been stewing for the entire day, but we as the viewers haven't spent enough time to have seen that. And so when we get to this huge leap forward in this character's emotional arc, we're like, wait. I mean, we haven't seen him, and this is a huge reaction for a character that is his by nature is to absorb and be steady and be kind of the shock absorber for the team. So maybe it's just too early. Like maybe it's literally one episode too early. That's my theory.
Yeah, because I mean, so far in the season, the Marcus moments have been asking for a table for his dad, collaborating with
Mm-hmm.
Luca and collaborating really well, and then kind of shutting down with the news about Carmi, and then having that really good conversation with him in, I think it was the previous episode,
Yeah.
and showing like Marcus's own emotional health and his own intuition when it comes to emotions, which Carmi struggles with. And so then to have the next episode be his little crash out, I don't know. It
Super
didn't quite work for
interesting.
me, but we'll see. We'll
Too
see
much
what
too
the bear
soon.
is cooking up.
Too much too soon. And I think actually, like, there's two Marcus moments in this episode. I think the first one is perfect. And I think we didn't need the second one where he gives attitude to Luca. The first one's perfect because Marcus is fixated on raspberries. I need to have raspberries. And for someone who's so dedicated to his craft, that would be how he kind of channels his stress and his pressure is like, I have to have this thing. It needs to be perfect. I have a vision. And that being the interaction that he has with Luca, where he's like, you got to get the strawberry. You just have to get the strawberries. And I think that moment is perfect. It's the second one that's a little bit like, not as sure how I feel about it. Um, Luca. Luca's role in The Bear, I think, has been really fascinating. And it was a little unclear to me and a little wandering up in the season up until this point. But it's in this episode when he's talking to Sid about Copenhagen that I think that Luca's uh, ingredient in the stew is very important because I think what Luca represents in the show is an escape route. It's an option to opt out of staying with the team. So for Marcus, he gives the option to go hang out with the Copenhagen folks. Marcus declines. With Sid's entertaining the idea about like, oh, if only I could go off with you to Copenhagen. But ultimately she's going to stay. And so Luca being present in this team is almost this like physical constant reminder of you could go find something else and it probably will be good, but will you still choose to stay with this team? And so I just thought that was really fascinating, the way that he represents alternate paths because he is going to leave and he can bring people along. And so it pushes the characters to truly choose to stay. And he's this like looming reminder constantly in the team, which I think is a really smart choice for where the team is at right now.
And I'm over here like, hey, everybody go with Luca. Like, jump ship, my guys. I do not have that same loyalty to the Bear
Fair.
restaurant as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love that Luca brings such a different perspective to everybody else because with the exception of like Sid and then Jess and them, like everybody else kind of came up in the beef and now the
Mm,
bear. And so like this is how they understand how to cook. And Luca obviously trained many other places, worked many other places. Sid too. But I love that
mm,
Luca just brings something different that a lot of these other characters don't have because they just haven't had the same vocational experience as him, and haven't worked in all of these other kitchens like he has. So I think for me, like Luca plays such an important role, and I loved that conversation that he had with Sydney. It was funny and heartwarming and all of the things that you would want in, such a pivotal conversation in an episode of The Bear.
Oh, when he says to her, you get to say goodbye on your own terms. There's nobody here that wouldn't say bye to you. Oh, it's so good. Man, that I think it's an important conversation because it highlights what I think the bear is so fixated on, which is that it's not about the place, it's about the people in the place. And so even his story about the previous kitchens that have ended, like it's what he remembers is that chef and his dedication to being the pillar for that team. And we see that he's moved on to new things and stuff, but the place doesn't matter. but what he remembers is the people. And I hope that means perhaps the bear doesn't stay. I hope that's the foreshadowing for the entire show's ending is the bear's not going to stay, but these relationships are forever. We'll see.
I feel like that is the correct ending. I'm really hoping that's what the bear does because, man, it's just, yeah, if somehow there's some miracle and they get to keep the bear, like, I don't know, that's not as satisfying, I think, as this chapter is over, but everybody
Yeah.
has grown. And like you said, these relationships will last forever. And that is the win and that is the victory. And then they can all go do their own things that they want to do and use their skills in potentially different ways in different places. But we'll see. There's a few episodes left. We'll see what
Yeah.
the show has in store for us.
That's really sad. Like, I don't know. People don't want sad. We want to feel good. We want the happy ending. We want everyone to
Mm-hmm.
stay. We want our crew together. Like, will the bear do it?
I want sad.
You do want sad.
I always want sad.
You do. But we are in, as Zach Goldburn over on Movies and Us, one of our guests, says, we are in the Hope Core era. And I don't know.
We'll
I
see.
think it's hopeful to be like, nothing lasts forever, but the people are forever if you commit to them. That's really like inspiring to me, but that also is sad. So I don't know. It's like sad and beautiful and happy at the same time. We'll see what the show does. But I thought that was a fascinating conversation because it made me think, will the bear do it? Will they really do it and go that route? We're talking about goodbyes, like, or is that just there to feel the stakes of, oh my God, we might lose this thing. But psych, we won't because Computer and Uncle Jimmy and team are like going to visit this woman to buy the rights from her. I don't know.
So chaotic.
Yeah.
You're sending like the B team to go get like the air rights, which is this monumental conversation.
Yep.
Everything with the bear is hanging on the balance. And you send this group to go try and get them. Oh, it was so chaotic. It was so funny.
So good. Okay. One of the things I do love about that moment, though, is that we get to see Pete's superpowers shine a little bit. And I don't think we've gotten that so clearly in the past seasons of The Bear. He's always kind of the butt of the joke in all of the scenes that he's been in. But in this scene, he is essential. And what he's able to do to be easygoing and to read the room and to be kind of this good natured guy who's earnestly the kind of soft and tender compared to the others, that is what almost even allows the conversation to happen for as long as it does. And so I thought that was really neat from the bear. It's like, hey, this guy that we've been making fun of for the past 4 seasons, he's actually got some pretty sweet gifts and he is able to use them in the right contexts and really shine. So I thought that was like really neat. I loved it.
It was so funny because even the way that Pete is introduced in this episode, and they're all like, "Oh my gosh, we got a customer!" And then like he removes his hood, and it's like, "Ah, it's
Hey.
just Pete. What the heck? Like you ruin everything. You're the worst." And then we see him go on this whole journey in this episode and get co-opted by the group to then go try and negotiate. I love that his little journey he goes on in this episode.
And he's essential. He is useful, but he starts from like helping Sid with the trash and then gets whisked away into this very key piece of the puzzle. Yeah. This is why we love the bear because everyone is able to be a hero in their context if they are just who they really are and not trying to be anything that they're not. Oh, it's so good.
Well, and even, Chucky is he
Yeah.
in that conversation with Cheese and Uncle Jimmy is able to offer a solution and has ideas. And so I love that this show, especially this season, is
Mm,
highlighting people that have always been around, and we've seen them in pivotal moments of the show. But I love that we're getting to see them contribute in different ways. Even like earlier in the season, Angel and Manny, we've always
yeah.
seen them around, but we don't always get to like spend a lot of time with them. So it feels really intentional that the show is going, okay, remember these people. They are also an equal part of this crew and an equal part of this family, and we're going to give them some time to shine as well.
Yes, and specifically in the ways that they are uniquely gifted and wired to. I think that's very everyone's being able to contribute to the team in the ways that they know how best, and it's not going to look like what somebody else can do. We're not putting Pete like in the back kitchen chopping onions. I would love to see that. I think it'd be hilarious to watch Sid teach Pete.
Oh my gosh, how frustrated would she be the entire time? It would be so funny. I need
Yeah.
like a 15-minute special deleted scene or something of her
Yes.
just trying to teach Pete how to cook something.
And I love seeing Sid throughout many episodes now know exactly how to like ignite the right motivation from the dudes around her. She's very crafty, that one. And it's really satisfying to see.
Well, and I love that we've seen Sugar do that throughout all of the seasons, and now we're seeing Sid do it too. And so, just like, man, she has learned some things from this crew,
Sugar.
and it's
Mm-hmm.
not all about the kitchen.
No, no, it's not. It's knowing that Pete wants his bolognese. And so she'll dangle that like a little carrot, a little juicy carrot in front of him. Um, okay, other big things that happened in this episode that you wanted to call out.
Yeah, another thing that I'm really appreciating about this season as a whole is that when each episode starts, we're hearing the thunder and the rain.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
think that that's such a smart reminder for us that we are still in the middle of a thunderstorm.
Mm,
That circumstance hasn't changed. And so, no matter if you are like binging the entire
mm,
season or if you've been away from it for a few days or a week or two, like that sound of thunder as the episode starts reminds you this is where our characters are. This is a big deal.
mm,
I need to put myself in this mind space. So I thought that that was brilliant. I love
mm.
that nod, and we've seen that consistently in every episode so far.
Yeah, that's really good. And we constantly are hearing the rain, we're seeing the rain. There's a lot of shots with like Richie in front of house, like looking out the window, like a sad dog wanting to go play outside. And it's this looming feeling of one, doom, because is the restaurant going to survive? But two, will we have customers or not? And it's very valid that like um we no one showed up yet. And so when they come rolling through wet at the end, and they're like, oh my gosh, so sorry it took us so long. Like we're like, oh yeah, this is a huge storm that's hit the city. Of course no one would show up. Yeah, that's good.
And then they finally do, at least a few of them.
A
So
huge throng of them.
we'll see.
Yeah. um, I'm hopeful to see things go quite wrong. Like they're just too many people. And I hope that where we go with this is that all of the menu plans, all of that like goes out the window and the team ultimately figures out how to create what Richie talks about in his inspirational speech in episode 4, which is just like people are here, so we're going to make them feel like family. And even if it's us eating meatballs on the floor, like this what this team shines most in is that more than it is putting on a culinary art journey, which they can do, but there's more that they have to give. So I would love to see almost like the plans to do this precise like menu to kind of be thwarted in some way. And then they're forced to just like care for people. I think that'd be cool.
I mean, we'll see because we got a few episodes
Mm.
left. So plenty of room for chaos, plenty of room for care. we'll
Yep.
see what happens.
So good. My last little shout out is Richie and Jess. Little flirtation moment. We love to see that. I actually think like a lot of times, like I think in the previous seasons, they were insinuating something between Sid and Marcus, something between Sid and Carmi, and there's all these like fan theories and whatnot. And usually some of that comes so out of left field that it feels like the prospect of a romantic storyline is just in a show to be interesting, fun, spritzy. We love to see it as audience members, and that usually kind of annoys me. But in this case, for Richie specifically, I think it is important and I think it's essential, especially because his failed marriage, he's questioned himself so much and like kind of probably written this area off in his life that I think it's special to see this character that has maybe given up in this space or felt like he's not worthy to feel like that's possible for him again. And so it works for me because it fits the character's like journey from doubting himself, believing he is not worthy, to finally being able to flirt a little bit. So I think it actually works more than I would have expected it to.
And I think it's set up well too.
Yeah.
You know, there's a little bit of flirting that's been going on for a little while now. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it works, and the bear doesn't overplay it either. Like it's just this cute little moment, and then we see Sid creeping on him,
So good.
and so we go from this like flirty moment to this like really like high school moment, which is really funny, of
So good.
Sid calling him out and then him not being able to lie. And then, of course, Carmi walks in and then they don't tell Carmi what's going on. So
No.
I love how seamlessly that moment moves on and we're
Mm-hmm.
into something else. So it didn't linger too long there, but it was just enough to feel right. And then we kept trucking along with our day.
And I think it also works in the context of like where the restaurant is, the stressful day, like as stressful as everything is, it was almost this reminder for the characters and for us the audience, like life is happening beyond just like this one day of dinner service. Like, you know, I feel like sometimes in life there's moments like that where you're like in the thick of something and like someone farts or someone gets a call or does something funny and just like it kind of lifts you out of the burden of stress in a moment, like to take ourselves a little less seriously. And I feel like Richie's always represented that, but it's a moment that has, in a very stressful season, been almost a reminder of like, there are bigger things too.
I also love that the whole thing starts because he's doing his anxiety exercise of like, you know,
I
5 things
know.
you can touch. And he's unable to cope with that anxiety in and of himself. But then once he is able to connect with Jess, then that mood lightens because she is
Yeah.
also sharing that load with him a little bit. So I thought that was another really kind of beautiful way to like weave in one of the themes of the bear, which is like doing it in community as opposed
Yeah.
to isolating yourself. And so many of the characters have been on that journey of we're not just islands doing things by ourselves, but we are working together as a team, as a family. So it also serves that moment in addition to being fun and flirty and just we want to root for these characters. So
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead, Jess, make your move.
Very clever, Jess. That
Mhm.
was a good move. Well done, Queen. Hand. And then I love that Sid's like, we should have like a Tarzan moment out there. Like, oh, it's so good. Those
It's
those
so
two
good.
together too have come a long way. Something that I think you mentioned in a previous conversation is like the bear is so intentional about pairing people together in side conversations, and I think that is a great example of like those two have fought, those two have yelled at each other, and so to see them like giggle together is also, I think it was a reminder for me of how far these two specifically have come to have that trust and rapport with each other to like giggle about a flirty moment.
Yeah, yeah, they have come so far. Like,
Yeah.
wow, both individually and then together as a team because they hated each other for
Hmm.
seasons. And now they're partners. Amazing.
So good. So good. Any other last things we wanted to mention before we give out some awards?
Um, I don't think so. I think we got, oh, we do need to talk
Sid.
about this though.
I had one more thing.
Sid tells Tina that she's
Yes.
the CDC.
Yes. That was going to be my last thing. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's great, like from a like circumstantial level. Yay, Tina gaining more responsibility. But I what I love about that moment more is we saw in the previous episode Sid having imposter syndrome and self doubt, and Tina encouraging her. And I love that the roles are flipped. And so there's this mutual giving and encouraging each other that they both do for each other when they need it most, but doesn't happen at the same time. And they both are able to see something in each other that the other can't see. I also love the way that Sid encourages Tina. Tina's like, I don't know if I can do it. And Sid doesn't say, you can do it. Sid says, you've been doing it. And I think that's the mark of Sid being a great leader, is putting Tina in these positions almost like without her really knowing that she's being stretched and she's grown, so that by the time that the title comes, she's prepared her in advance without her even knowing. And that confidence of, it's not even that you will be able to do it, is you have everything you need. And I thought that was really powerful too. So gosh, those two together, like, they need to keep this partnership forward no matter what happens to the bear. Those two need to go take on Chicago.
Absolutely. And I love that that moment is also set up when Sid says, I'm going to get us through tonight. And then Tina's response is, I know you are, baby, and I'm going to be right next to you. And so it's this, again, that mutual care that you were just talking about. Because, like, Sid is still a little uneasy in this moment. And obviously, Tina has a lot of anxiety and doubt and all of that. And still in this moment they are supporting one another and there for each other, and it's just, oh, it's so
Good.
beautiful.
It's so good. I though the scenes when them two are on screen, I'm just like, oh no, cue the eye sweats and the waterworks. Like, it's so emotional. It's so good. All right, TVNS awards. So the first category is for Top Chef. What is your choice for this one?
I want to give this to Chester for coming through with Marcus's idea last minute, pulling things together,
Oh,
being a good bro, giving Marcus what he needs.
yeah, so good. Yeah, those raspberries came through. My choice for Top Chef is Pete. Never
Nice.
thought that he would be my choice for Top Chef, but here we are. This is the beauty of the bear, is that no one is on the sidelines. Everyone is able to give in some way. And we see Pete really like be essential in this like group of like yelling, toxic men. Uh, Pete's gentle nature shines so brightly. So Pete is my choice for Top Chef. Who would have ever known?
Wow, you know, there's a first time for everything.
Yeah.
Go Pete.
Achievement in chaos. This is given to a moment from the episode. What's your choice for this one?
I want to give it to Computer and Chucky constantly interrupting Pete's pitch to Mary.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of,
That was so insane.
yeah, I love that she yells at them, get your toxic masculinity out of my house.
Yes.
Because they are. And I love that the bear makes sure we know. Like, Uncle Jimmy is computer. They're all just so so aggressive with each other. And she has none of it. It's very satisfying to see.
I loved Mary. I was like, yes,
Yeah.
I hope that we get to see you again in these 3 episodes because she is great. Whatever she has going on, I am here for.
Yeah. So good. Um, my choice for Achievement in Chaos is Richie having a crush and Sid being there to
Yeah,
giggle with him about it.
it's so good.
It's so cute. Oh, I loved it. Spiciest line. What's your choice for this one?
Okay, so I'm going to break the rules of this a little bit because I'm not giving it to a line, but I feel like this person's face communicates paragraphs. And so I feel like it
Oh.
fits. And so I want to give it to Sweeps' face when Richie presents his path to success. Because the look on Sweep's face is priceless. And I was like, you don't even need to say words, my guy. I know what you're thinking.
I really wish we had more time with that character. The
Oh,
runway and the window of
he's so
opportunity
good.
is closing, but you just know he's got thoughts, constantly watching, observing everyone. That's a great choice. I'm going to give this award to Computer, who says to Uncle Jimmy when he's outside in the rain, also crashing out. At least he points to Chucky. At least he has an idea. Do you have one? And it's such a diss because, but it's also so encouraging too at the same time because it's like cut the like flailing. We need to solve a problem. Do you have one? If not, shush your little mouth because the rest of us are trying to think of a solution while you're having your little emotional breakdown. And I just loved that moment. I thought it's fitting for Uncle Jimmy's crash out.
Ugh, it's so good. I love Computer. He just shoots it so straight. It's so satisfying.
Like he's such an asshole, but somehow I really find
Yes.
him quite endearing.
Yeah.
It's very
So
strange
good.
because he kind of sucks a lot of time, but
It does.
he's also just right,
Yeah.
which maybe is why. Looking ahead, what are you excited to see in the next 3 episodes?
Yeah. I'm curious about this dinner service, which is very, very impossible. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens there. Um, I we don't have that many episodes, but I just want Marcus to be okay. Like, he is my main priority in the show. Just
Yeah.
protect Marcus. But things are not looking good for him
No.
based on his crash out in this episode. And then another thing that I'm very curious about is Sugar telling Donna to come to the restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're already in a chaotic environment. We are bringing an agent of chaos into the chaotic environment. Will Donna, has she grown enough to be in that environment and be okay? Or is she going to heap on additional chaos? So I feel like, woo, we're gearing up for some stuff.
Yeah. And she's bringing Sophie, the tiny child, into this very stressful day. And it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad before it gets better because we got 3 episodes. So there's like plenty of time for everything to devolve. Probably more Marcus crashing out. And I would love to see Carmi somehow be a part of Marcus being able to like get back on the horse in some way. I think that that would be really a really satisfying storyline for Carmi to like move from selfishness to other, which is exactly what Richie told him to do. And to also use everything that he's experienced for good, to be able to give, to be able to, and we saw him already do that in the conversation outside of the tarp, under the tarp, but to really come alongside Marcus, they're kindred spirits in a lot of ways, and I think it'd be fascinating to see that be a part of Marcus being able to come out on the other side, and maybe a little less unhealthy for as long as Carmi was.
Yes,
you know?
yes. And we've seen that in a previous season too, where
Yeah.
Marcus was like beating himself up because it wasn't perfect and he failed and all of that. And Carmi was able to come alongside him and encourage him. So we know that's in Carmi. Hopefully we'll get to see it again. I love that.
And that idea that like all of the struggles we've walked through were not for nothing. It's actually to help give to those that are walking a similar path, or to even understand them. That was all worth it is a really beautiful thesis too. So there's so many ways they could write this, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. Well, let's see. Yeah, +1 on the Donna thing, +1 on Marcus. I don't know. Anything could happen at this point. Um, I'm so far liking where they're going with it. So we'll see if they continue down the path. We'll be here to observe and watch and be feeling all of the feels as we go along this last dinner service with our crew. All right, so this was our review discussion of The Bear Season 5, Episode 5. We'll be back soon with Episode 6 for sure. We are marching our way towards the final moments of the season, and we are sat for it. We are locked in, and gosh, we just love these characters so much. So as Sarah mentioned, we're rooting for all of them so deeply. Stay tuned for more of Bear coming next week. Thank you for listening to today's episode of TV and Us. We are part of the Movie Archer podcast network, so check out moviearcher.com to learn more.
Our name sums it up. We're big fans of TV and the powerful ways we can connect with each other and the world around us. This podcast is about all of us and our shared stories.
You can subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you tune into your favorite shows. Drop us a rating and review, letting us know your thoughts about today's episode.
You can connect with us on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at tvnuspod, or email us at tvnuspod@gmail.com. Check out our website, andusmedia.co, for the latest on TV and Us and our other podcast, Movies and Us.
We hope you have an amazing week, and we can't wait to see y'all very soon.